Whenever I was first diagnosed with ulcerative colitis, I had no idea what it was. I remember going home and Googling, like, what is ulcerative colitis? And at the time, it said that it was mostly a disease of the gut that affected men over 50 and the Jewish population. And I remember thinking, okay, well, I'm neither of those things. So I just must be this, lucky outlier. So I didn't know anybody that looked like me, anybody that was my age that had this disease. And it wasn't honestly until 10 years later after my diagnosis that I really found a community and actually started educating myself on this diagnosis and on this disease and different ways that I could treat it. So whenever I was first diagnosed, I started out pretty quickly on a biologic, and I was receiving infusions every 8 weeks. And it actually kept me in remission really well for the first 8 years of living with UC. But I always had that fear in the back of my mind, like, what if my insurance company drops coverage? Or what if, I lose my job or I lose my insurance benefits and I can't afford this medication? It's a lot just for any person. But then when you're at your lowest and you're already sick and exhausted, and to have to jump through so many hoops to just get your medications and then try to get your medications at a cost that you can afford, especially when your work is being affected, because when you live with a chronic illness, the people who need that coverage the most are often the ones who struggle to be able to go to work. So having access to patient assistance programs has been such a blessing because it allows us to take a little bit of that burden off of our shoulders when it comes to being able to afford the medications that we depend on. So I am here with Infusion Access Foundation because I really want to be the voice for the person who I needed whenever I was first diagnosed. I want those to know who've been diagnosed with a chronic illness that it doesn't mean that your life is over, that there is hope after diagnosis, that there is a community out there that can support you, that there are people and organizations like the Infusion Access Foundation that can help you manage this lifelong disease. Alone, I can make a difference, but together we can change the world.